Welcome to the Local Restaurant Marketing Edge, where host Alex Foster, restaurant marketing expert and marketing director at Online Kicks, shares actionable insights designed specifically for small to medium independent restaurant owners.
Welcome to another episode of the Local Restaurant Marketing Edge, where we bring you expert insights and actionable strategies to help your restaurant thrive in a competitive market. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're delving into an exciting topic: how to create an irresistible menu design that sells and stays fresh with seasonal changes. To guide us through this complex yet fascinating subject, we have Chris joining us, an expert in restaurant marketing and design. Chris, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. Menu design is such a pivotal aspect of restaurant marketing, and I'm thrilled to share some insights that can help restaurant owners maximize their efforts.
Let's start with the broader concept. Why is menu design considered a critical component of restaurant marketing and customer experience?
Great question, Alex. Menu design is the linchpin of restaurant marketing because it's often the first point of contact a customer has after stepping into the restaurant. It sets the stage for the dining experience, guiding customer choices, and can directly influence spending behavior. An effectively designed menu not only enhances the visual appeal, but also communicates the brand's value and priorities, all while subtly directing patrons towards high-profit items. In essence, a well-crafted menu is not just about aesthetics, but also about strategy. It's a dynamic tool that integrates marketing principles with design to drive both customer satisfaction and revenue.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Let's dive deeper into the elements of effective menu design. What are the key components restaurant owners should focus on?
When we're talking about effective menu design, we need to consider several vital elements. Visual appeal, typography, and imagery all play crucial roles. First off, the visual appeal starts with a clean, organized layout that makes it easy for patrons to navigate. Typography should be carefully chosen to reflect the restaurant's brand, whether it's elegant, modern, or somewhere in between. The fonts need to be legible and arranged in a way that highlights certain sections over others. Images, meanwhile, should be used sparingly but deliberately. A single, well-placed image can tempt diners and ignite their imaginations. Each of these elements contributes collectively to create a cohesive narrative that not only informs, but also entices the customer in a seamless manner.
These foundational elements certainly establish a strong starting point for any menu. Tell us more about how layout and strategy and placement can drive sales.
Strategic layout is all about directing the customer's gaze to where you want it. For instance, the prime real estate on a menu is generally the top right section or the center, where most people's eyes naturally fall first. This is where you should position your high-margin and unique items. Another tactic involves using boxes or larger fonts to draw attention to specials or chef's recommendations. The key is also to keep the menu uncluttered. Too many options can overwhelm diners and lead to decision fatigue, which ultimately might affect sales negatively. The aim is to guide them through a curated experience that feels both effortless and exciting, encouraging them to explore various sections instead of just settling quickly on a familiar choice.
It's fascinating how something as simple as arranging sections can have substantial implications. What strategies can restaurant owners use to highlight high-profit items and specials more effectively?
Highlighting high-profit items and specials can be achieved effectively through various techniques. Using a special call-out or box around these items is a common but highly effective method. You may also play around with font types and sizes. Making the names or prices bold or a different color can make a dish stand out. Another subtle hint can be incorporating descriptive language that paints a vivid picture in the customer's mind, making the dish hard to resist. Additionally, positioning these items in the sections of the menu that draw the eye first, as we discussed earlier, can naturally lead customers to select them. These small changes can guide choices subtly but effectively, often leading to higher average spends.
There's definitely a science behind it that can make a huge difference in sales. Speaking of which, could you touch on the role of color psychology in menu design?
Color psychology plays a fascinating role in how people perceive a menu. Certain colors can evoke specific emotions or appetites. For example, red and yellow are known to stimulate appetite and are widely used in the food industry. Green can denote freshness and health, making it perfect for dishes highlighting salads or greens. Meanwhile, blue is often used sparingly as it doesn't stimulate hunger, but can be calming and trustworthy when used correctly. This psychological approach helps in crafting a menu that speaks to the subconscious, gently coaxing the customer towards making choices that they will find satisfying, both gastronomically and emotionally.
It's quite impressive how these elements interlock to enhance decision making. Let's talk about keeping the menu updated seasonally. What strategies should be on a restaurant owner's radar?
Refreshing your menu seasonally serves multiple important functions. It showcases the restaurant's dedication to using fresh, in-season ingredients, which can really resonate with local, environmentally conscious customers. The strategies can include switching up a few signature dishes to reflect seasonal availability or simply adding seasonal specials. Highlighting local ingredients can forge a stronger community connection because it demonstrates support for nearby farmers and producers. Plus, changing the menu seasonally keeps things exciting and encourages repeat business. Promoting these changes through digital marketing channels can also build anticipation and engage patrons before they even step foot in the restaurant.
That's a powerful strategy for engagement and sustainability. How should a restaurant adapt their menu to current dining trends and consumer preferences?
Adaptation is indeed key to staying relevant. It starts by monitoring restaurant industry trends, dietary preferences, and broader cultural shifts. Whether it's plant-based options, keto-friendly dishes, or ethically sourced ingredients, ensuring your menu reflects these trends can draw in specific customer groups who are passionate about such options. Additionally, feedback gathered through surveys, social media interactions, or direct customer interactions provides invaluable insights into what your customer base is craving. Implementing new sections or items based on this data and marketing them as part of your evolving story can keep your offerings aligned with what consumers are seeking.
It seems like customer feedback is vital in shaping a restaurant's menu. How can restaurant owners effectively gather and use feedback on their menu offerings?
Feedback is indeed crucial. It can be effectively gathered through various methods, such as feedback forms, post-dining surveys, or online reviews. Encouraging customers to fill out brief surveys that focus on new menu items or overall menu satisfaction can yield direct insights. Additionally, online platforms where customers freely share their opinions, such as social media or restaurant review sites, can provide unsolicited but honest feedback. All this gathered intelligence can then be analyzed to determine patterns, what's working and what's not, and then be used to make informed adjustments. This process not only enhances the menu, but also demonstrates to patrons that their opinions are valued, which can strengthen customer loyalty.
Great insights. Let's look at some real-world examples. Could you share a success story or two where menu redesign had a significant impact?
Certainly. One notable example I recall involves a small bistro that completely revamped its menu by emphasizing local produce and seasonal items. They introduced quarterly updates, each with a new design that visually depicted the season. For example, hints of autumn with rich, warm colors and visuals of harvest crops. This not only bolstered their brand as a community-focused, sustainable eatery, but also saw a surge in foot traffic during what were previously slower months. Another impressive case involved a trendy cafe that added a plant-based section with vibrant colors and appealing typography. They marketed this change on social media, which led to increased online interaction and drew in a new wave of customers seeking vegan options. These examples highlight how strategic redesign paired with effective marketing can elevate both the brand image and sales performance.
Those examples really showcase the potential of menu redesign. For restaurant owners listening in, what are some immediate action steps they can take to start implementing these changes?
Firstly, conducting a menu audit is a critical starting point. This involves assessing current offerings to identify top sellers, high-margin items, and any underperformers. With this data, restaurant owners can make informed decisions on what needs emphasis or alteration. Next, Focus on visual aspects. Give your menu a facelift by incorporating strategic colors, typography, and the right placement of elements, as we've discussed. It's also beneficial to experiment with a limited release of seasonal specials to gauge customer response before making permanent changes. Finally, engage in active customer feedback collection to continuously refine the menu based on genuine customer preferences and market trends. These steps might seem simple, but they form the foundation for a well-executed menu strategy.
That's a solid plan for getting started. Just a quick reminder to our listeners, your menu is your first impression. You can get a full-service menu design refresh that's updated with every change for a limited time deal of $99 per year. To learn more, go to localrestaurantedge.com/menus. Chris, thank you for sharing these pivotal strategies with us. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners?
My pleasure, Alex. If I could leave your listeners with just one piece of advice, it's to embrace change and innovation. The food and beverage industry is fast evolving, and staying ahead of trends is crucial. Your menu is a living document that should continuously reflect the evolution of your brand and the desires of your customers. Don't be afraid to make those updates, test new ideas, and always be open to feedback. This adaptability will keep your restaurant not only relevant, but also memorable.
That's perfect advice to end our discussion on. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Local Restaurant Marketing Edge. We've explored the intricacies of menu design with actionable insights from Chris, understanding its role in marketing, the elements that make it effective, and the strategies to keep it fresh and appealing throughout the seasons. Remember, a good menu is a foundational marketing tool. It can seal the deal on a great dining experience or achieve the opposite if neglected. For more tips and strategies on boosting your restaurant's success, stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. Until next time, take care and happy menu crafting.
You've been listening to the Local Restaurant Marketing Edge podcast. Check us out online at localrestaurantedge.com. We'll see you next time.